Today I'm going to talk about how to read and set the tire pressure on a Toyota RAV4. And this fluctuates with the weather and some other factors, so it's something important to keep an eye on. It's the only part of your vehicle that's actually in contact with the road, so it's one of the most important aspects of your vehicle. So in this video I'm going to talk about a few different ways to view the tire pressure on your RAV4, what pressure setting you should have it on, and how to set the tire pressure. So one common question is, can you display the tire pressure on your RAV4? And you would think that this would be something available because most RAV4s have TPMS, which is a tire pressure monitoring system. All the ones in the US do. Canada does not, and there's probably some other countries that don't. But unfortunately, even though the RAV4 has TPMS, they don't have a display where you can actually view the tire pressure right on the vehicle. And this seems like something that Toyota could have easily done by integrating it into the multi-information display, which is the display in the middle of your dashboard. But unfortunately, there's no screen for that. However, you can view the tire pressure with Toyota's connected services if you have a newer RAV4, so I'm going to talk about that. So part of Toyota's connected services is called Service Connect, and this is where you can view the tire pressure as well as other interesting things about your vehicle. This is available as a free trial on some vehicles. The length of the free trial changes for different model years, so I have a full article that explains all that, so I recommend checking that out. But once you sign up for that, you'll be able to view the tire pressure directly in the app. Even though you can't view it directly on your vehicle, that's a little bit easier than manually checking the tires just by pulling up that app. So if you don't want to use the app, there's a couple different ways to keep an eye on your tire pressure. The one I like to do is by using a tire pressure gauge, and that's just something I keep in my car, and I check all the tires occasionally. Very easy to do. I may do this monthly before a long road trip just to make sure everything's safe, or I may do it when the weather gets cold, because you'll lose about 1 psi, which is a measurement of air pressure, for every 10 degrees drop in temperature. So that's just a good reason to check, and it's super easy to do if you have a tire pressure gauge on hand. Now the second option is to wait for a warning light on your dashboard. You may have seen this before, and I'll put a picture up just so you know what it looks like. This is one way that you can tell that your tires are low, but it's not my recommended option because it's not proactive. When I'm using a gauge, I can see the pressure going down over time and fix it before it gets critically low. But if you're just waiting for that light to turn on, which is what most people do, by that point your tires are probably critically low and it could be unsafe. So I recommend staying on top of it with a tire pressure gauge. That's the best option. So now you may be wondering, where do you find the correct tire pressure to fill your tires up to? And you may think to look on the side of your tire for a measurement, and that's actually not where you're supposed to check, because you're supposed to use the manufacturer's recommended tire pressure. And luckily you don't need to dig through the owner's manual or anything like that to find it. It's actually listed inside the driver's door. So I'll show you what that looks like. So to find your tire pressure measurement, just open up the driver's side door and you'll see a sticker in the door jamb. And this is going to have a chart that shows what your tire pressure should be. And you can see on my 2021 RAV4, it is 35 psi, both on the front and the rear. So now that you know what PSI to set your tire pressure to, how do you actually do that? Now there's 3 main ways to do this. You could use a portable tire inflator, which is something you could buy on Amazon. This is something you could just keep in your car, and if your tires ever get low, you can just hook it up and easily fill it up to the correct pressure. The other option is an air compressor. That's something you wouldn't be keeping in your car because it's a larger thing. But if you have an air compressor at home, you could use that. And lastly, which is my preferred option, is just stopping at a gas station. Most gas stations will allow you to do this for free. Some charge a small fee, but most of the time you can find one for free. And this is really easy because you just set your tire pressure on the screen and you hook it up to your valve stem on your tire, and then it will beep when it reaches the desired pressure. So it's super easy to use, quick and free. So that's my recommended option. Hopefully this video helped you understand how to read and set the tire pressure on your RAV4. If you have any questions or you want to see more information, check out my article. It's linked below at rav4resource.com.